Hello, good morning. This is Renee Manfred with What's Your Passion podcast. I'm very excited to have a good friend of mine, Linda Allred, on our channel today. She has her new book that launched today, actually today is the 15th of August of 2024. And I always have really good speakers that come onto my podcast that I feel that are going to bring value to my audience and just you as the consumers that are in there, whether you're entrepreneurs, whether you're in transition, you're in a career. It's really in today's world, you need to kind of have different individuals input to make, help kind of through that process. So I wanted to have Linda on today and to kind of share a bit about her story, her background, a little bit on her new book that just now came out. And the new book is Journey to Lasting Happiness, a guide to living a happy, healthy, successful life. Linda, I thank you very much for joining me this morning.
Well, I'm excited to be here. And I want everyone to know that I am a young 83-year-old.
That is amazing.
I will be 84 October the 13th. And if I can do this, you do not have an excuse.
That is amazing. And that's just I wouldn't even thought you're 83 years old. So, but it's just so many people use age as a factor, but you're young at heart. You're energized. Every time I talk to you, you're just lively. So it's just amazing how the mind can control everything in the body. So tell me a little bit about Linda. I mean, so where do you live in Baton Rouge? Is that correct?
I've lived in Baton Rouge my entire life. Went on a world cruise. My husband had been gone 10 years. Met a guy whose wife had also died of cancer 2 years prior. We became really good friends, and we decided that we're going to make a new life together. He lived in Utah, so he moved to Baton Rouge. He's a hiker and a runner. The humidity just about killed him. So we started looking, where could we live in the United States? So July the 2nd, we moved to Knoxville, Tennessee. So now I'm in Tennessee, but I will not pull for Tennessee if they play LSU. I promise you that.
Now, I love Tennessee. Actually, my daughter lives right there in Clarksville. She moved there after the Hurricane Katrina back in 2005, and I told her, don't come back here, just stay there. So it's really beautiful up there.
Yeah.
Nashville is constantly, it's like they're growing tremendously. And
yes.
So more
it is cooler here. It is. And my last chapter in my book is my happy ending. There's more to this story than I'm letting on to. So it's a funny story. How I met Rod.
So you're going to share that?
In the book, this is the last chapter of the book, my happy ending. I'm going to give you some golden nuggets today, but not give it all away.
So what started your journey? So kind of give me an idea of where did you start with this process? What type of business were you in before? Were you working? And when did all this kind of start for you with this journey here?
I was in human resources for 17 years. And I was director of a home health agency. And I developed pains in my chest and thought I was having a heart attack. And the doctor said, Linda, there's nothing wrong with your heart, that I suspect this is stress. And he said, you need to go learn to relax. Well, I could have slapped him, give me a pill, cut it out, don't tell me who in the world taught you how to relax 30 years ago.
Right.
And so throughout that year, I felt like an 800-pound elephant was sitting on my chest. And 2-3 different friends kept mentioning, you need to go learn to practice hypnosis. It can help with stress. I said, look, my husband's a banker. We do not do woo-woo stuff. Finally, as a last resort, Renee, I backed into a hypnotist chair, heard every word the man said, did not think I was hypnotized. But within 72 hours, my life started improving. So me being really curious, I signed up for a Saturday workshop he was doing. And he did fun demonstrations to prove without a shadow of a doubt that your subconscious, that makes up 95% of your mind, where all of your good and bad habits and beliefs are stored, listens to your conscious thoughts. And then its main job, other than keeping your heart pumping 24 hours a day, is to make your thoughts true. And in the book, there's a QR code, heavy sacks on eyes. He had us close our eyes and imagine that he was putting a 50-pound sack on my right eye and a 50-pound sack on my left eye. And he said, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to try to open them. But when you try, it's going to feel like super glue, and the heavy sacks won't allow your eyes to open. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, you got to be out of your mind. I could not open my eyes. Then he had us put our hands straight out in front of us. Close your eyes now. Imagine that I'm putting a heavy metal bucket in your right hand. Hold the bucket and do your thumb up in the air, and I'm tying 12 helium balloons. Close your eyes now. And he said, now I'm pouring heavy, heavy, wet sand into the bucket, and you can feel the bucket going down, down, down. And the helium balloons are causing your wrists to float up. And he kept saying the heavy bucket's pouring. When I opened my eyes, it was like this.
Wow. That's incredible.
I knew I didn't have heavy sacks. I knew I didn't have a bucket of heavy sand and balloons.
Uh-huh.
And so I didn't understand. You have two minds, a conscious and a subconscious.
Right.
They're both equally important, but they're very, very different. And listen to this. You're not going to like it.
Yeah.
Your conscious mind judges 2 + 2 is 5. That's wrong. It sets goals for you. Aha.
Uh-huh.
Your only conscious mind makes up 5% of your mind. Do you understand why we have so much trouble achieving goals? You're only using 5% of your mind. So until you learn to tap into the power of your subconscious, where all the action is, you're like a hamster in a wheel going round and round and round. So that experience with the heavy sacks, I said, well, my goodness, what am I telling myself? And I started listening to my conscious thoughts, and I wouldn't talk to my dog the way I talk to myself. You're dumb, you're stupid, you know? And of course, I share my story about I was married 54 years, loved my husband dearly, but he was a very difficult man to live with. Never physically abused me.
Right.
Mentally, he would call me, Linda, you're so dumb. Linda, you're so stupid. Well, I married 17 going on 18.
Wow.
And, you know, here's somebody I loved and respected tell me that. Well, I believed it. So I grew up thinking I am not good enough. And the pain and the suffering that I felt because I didn't think I was good enough, I ate my pain away and gained 40 pounds, you know? So anyway, when this hypnotist invited me to this workshop and I started understanding the difference, the mind-body connection, I was just so fascinated that I took the first course in the certification program. Never, ever was I growing up to be a hypnotist. I was just curious, but I was just so fascinated. And then I felt God's presence. I'm a Christian hypnotist. Both of my mentors in my certification programs are Methodist ministers.
Right.
In fact, you may know something about Chaplain Paul Durbin. He's deceased now, but he was in the Army, and he worked at Walter Reed Hospital. They were the first hospital to offer hypnosis bedside. He retired as a brigadier general and went to New Orleans at the Pennington Methodist Hospital and set up the hypnosis programs there, you know, and he was one of my mentors along with Dr. Arthur Winkler. And people say, his favorite question, he said, people ask me all the time, why does a person of religious faith need hypnosis? And he said he believes that God wants us to live a happy, fulfilled life. And the way you do that is to feed your mind with positive thoughts. So that's how. So I gave up a 17-year career, high pay, looking at the Mississippi River on the 16th floor downtown to walk out on a leap of faith to help other people like me and men who don't feel like they're good enough. So I really dehypnotize you from the negative message and teach you how to self-hypnotize yourself and give you positive messages where you can have lasting happiness like I do.
So do you deal with like you have one-on-one meetings with individuals, or do you have group, or is it just a combination of things that you do, or just different events?
I used to do all of that. But, when COVID hit, I started doing everything on Zoom. In fact, before Zoom, anybody knew about Zoom, I was doing international classes.
Wow.
I did cracking the weight loss code, cracking the money code, and cracking the trading code, and ran 6-week programs year round. But now at 83, my goal is I take on a few clients a month, VIP clients. But my goal is to help people by writing this book. And let me just tell you how this book, after I met Rod and we decided we were going to make a new life together. Before he even came to Baton Rouge last year, I was sitting on the couch, Renee, minding my own business. Have you ever had a God whisper?
I feel I have whispers. And I can't say if it's, but I feel it's like it's a consistent.
Yeah.
Pull.
Well, this knowing voice said, Linda, it's time to write your book now. There are more people you need to help.
Right.
And I said, I am not writing a book. Rod's coming down. We're making a new life. We're going to travel and see the world, Linda. So every morning, I promise you, for 5 weeks at 5:30 in the morning, I had this conversation with God, arguing with him. I do not want to write a book. Linda, the book is not going to be about you. It's not about fame. It's not about you making a lot of money. It's about how many more people you can help. So how do you argue with God, right? So I signed the book contract.
Wow.
So it's like a baby being birthed today. I am birthing the book today on Amazon. Woohoo!
That is exciting. So how long it took you to write the book? So
Well, I started this past October. I hired a great agency, celebrity branding agency, and hired a great ghostwriter to help me do it. I didn't do, the article that you wrote and that came out today on LinkedIn about mentors.
Right.
Why would I try to write all of this myself and do when you can hire somebody that's been there, done there, made all the mistakes and can get you there faster?
Correct.
And in my book, I share, I've spent over $400,000 on mentors. I can give you an example of what a mentor can do for you.
Uh-huh.
I gained that 40 pounds. And when I became a hypnotist, I decided I was going to specialize in weight loss.
Right.
And if you ask any hypnotist in the United States, and I am a certified Christian hypnotist, what is the toughest nut to crack? And they will tell you weight loss. And let me tell you why. You can tell someone they'll never smoke again, and that's okay. But Renee, I cannot tell you you will never eat again.
Right.
That's not good, right?
Right.
So I looked all over the United States for a mentor that would mentor me. And I found a gentleman who got consistent 100-pound weight loss. And so he was doing a workshop in Orlando, Florida. And at that time, I was bringing in about $4,000 a month. I could pay all my bills, but I couldn't pay myself anything. My husband was supporting me.
Right.
And when I told him that I was going to Florida, he said, "Are you crazy? You can't even make enough money and you're flying to Florida," this little negative husband I live with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I was experiencing hypnosis and I was having more self-confidence and more self-esteem in myself. So I went. And he taught us how to market hypnosis. Any business anyone's in, you can be the best hypnotist in the world. You rent an office and you get a telephone and you sit there and you think, oh, everybody's going to call me. It's all about marketing. I got thrown feet first and learning how to market myself. So he taught us how to market hypnosis, and he was working with 3 gentlemen in metropolitan cities mentoring him. Right. So when I got back, I called him and I said, "I want you to be my mentor." Uh-huh. And he said, "Nope, can't do that." I called him for 6 months every week. Finally, he said, "You're not going away, are you?" I said, "Nope." So he took me on. I paid him $1,500 a month. And I didn't tell my husband, but when he found out about it accidentally, he said, "I can't believe you're doing something that stupid, not even making any money, and you paid him $1,500. Under 2 years, I went from $4,000 a month to $60,000 a month. in hypnosis weight loss. So I'm a weight loss expert, and I have a book, a weight loss program called the Weight Off Now, Get Healthy, Get Happy, that I'm presently turning into an e-course.
Okay.
That will help more people. So
that is exciting. No, I think a lot of people just don't understand. They're willing to go to school and pay $100,000 for education, but they don't realize I'd rather pay someone who has done something versus going to school to listen to all of these stories. Or,
exactly.
I look at kids these days, they're so lost. They're going to school for 3 or 4 years for science, history, English, all these things, but they're not even going into a profession after that. And then all of a sudden they're sitting here in this debt. They're competing against thousands of other people with a resume. And it's just sad that that's the country we live in, that they're not really telling the truth on really what it is that we should be doing. And mentors like you and I believe in giving you the facts. And if you do this, you'll get this. And it doesn't cost you a whole 4 years, and it doesn't cost you hundreds of thousands.
Yeah,
you're going to pay something for it, but it's
doesn't it make sense to pay someone that you don't have to make all the mistakes to get you there faster? I mean, at 83, I'm still being mentored. I'm in a coaching program right now, the Women's Prosperity Network out of Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
Every Monday we have a coaching meeting. I get to ask questions. I was launching the book. How do I do this? What a website crashed. I had to get a new contact management system. How do you launch the book? I mean, they have helped me so much.
So what do you feel is important to understand, both conscious and subconscious? Is it what you're saying is just really paying attention to how the mind is telling you and how it's talking to you and how to train it to talk the way that you want it?
The subconscious main job is to listen to your conscious thoughts and make what you're thinking true. Okay. And when you experience hypnosis, you're in the most, and all you have to do is close your eyes and just take some deep breaths, and you're already in a natural state of hypnosis. At that moment in time, you're at the most highly suggestible state of entire life for your subconscious to, well, let me back the story up. I got to grab somebody. I forgot to introduce you to my little friend here. This is my little Tasmanian devil. He used to say, Linda, you're so dumb. You're so stupid. You can't write a book. Who do you think you are? You can't make any money. He's my best friend now. I trained him. Wow. So when you relax and close your eyes, this little guy gets bored and gets out of the way. So at that moment in time, you're in the most highly suggestible state of your entire life to accept the suggestions that you were given. Like the hypnotist, my first hypnosis experience, I remember him telling me that I was important, that I was special, that I was good enough, that I had self-confidence, that I could do anything I wanted to do. Now, if you'd have told me that consciously, I said, no, I can't, no, I can't, no, I can't. Got this little guy out of the way, and I could feel myself, I am okay. I am important. I am good enough. I can do anything I want. And, I tell you, 72 hours after I left, I felt better, So that's why I grew up to be a hypnotist. Wow. And I thought, what a wonderful job to give people positive affirmations all day. We live in such a negative world, So that's why I'm still working. I absolutely love what I do. Absolutely love it. But I want to tell you something else. Right as you go to bed at night and right as you wake up in the morning, you're in a natural state of hypnosis. What do you go to bed with? All of your worries and concerns. What do you wake up with? All your worries and concerns. Right. So I'll tell you some stories. I had a kindergarten teacher that was 2 years from retirement. And she wanted to know if I could help her with her pain, arthritis. She said, I hate you quit now. I got just 2 more years. I said, well, I'm going to teach you creative visualization. It's a form of hypnosis. I said, but you just make believe or imagine how you want your life to look. I said, when you go to bed at night, when you wake up in the morning, imagine a perfect day. You're pain-free, you're happy, you're playing with your kindergarten students, you can get up off the floor easily, your grandkids come over. It's just a wonderful day.
Right.
And she looked at me and said, are you crazy? I have to hold on to my dresser in the morning to get to the bathroom. I'm in so much pain. And you want me to imagine I don't have any pain? I said, yes, ma'am. What do you have to lose?
Right.
Came back in the next week for a session. She started to come in the room, and then she put one foot in the hall and one foot in the office. And she said, hands on her hip, I have something to tell you, Linda. I didn't know what she was going to say. She said, you know, that stupid make-believe I was feeling good stuff, that stupid stuff you wanted me to do? I said, yeah. She said, I had the best week of my life.
Wow.
Let me tell you another story about a little boy, and all of this is in my book. A little boy named Dino. His father, Albert Pellichet, was a national speaker. He was the president of the National Speaker Association in New Orleans. But he called me and he said, will you work with my son? He's 11. He said, I love him, but I do not like him. He is the most miserable child to be around. So I said, I want you to start off by letting him listen to a positive affirmation session called Child's Health and Confidence. It's made for children under 11 years old. And so every night, they told Dino, you have to listen to this for 15 minutes. Well, when they closed the door, they didn't know, if he took the little earbuds out or not. 2 weeks later, they noticed Dino was waking up happier, but they said, couldn't be that affirmation. 3 weeks later, Dino's teacher called them and said, what are you doing differently with Dino at home? And they said, nothing. And she said, there's something major going on with this child. He's not acting up in class. He's always real shy. He came up to me and put his hand on his hips and said, Miss Smith, I'm freaking awesome. And you know it, don't you? She looked down at this little kid and said, what just happened? She said, as soon as I got home, I picked up the phone. What are you doing differently? Oh, he's just listened to a positive affirmation session 15 minutes every night. How about that? Subconscious makes up 95% of your mind, guys. It doesn't care. You can say, I'm going to be sad today. Oh, I'm going to be happy today. It listens to your conscious thoughts and does everything within its power to make your thoughts true. Look, no pills, no alcohol, no drugs, no emotional eating, gaining 40 pounds. You do it with the mind that God gave you. It's free. And you can do this anywhere but driving in a car because you have to close your eyes sometimes.
Now, I find I don't pay attention to the radio too much. And I find when you turn on country, you turn on rock and roll, you turn on old music, right? It's amazing how it affects you. And it's I don't think a lot of people pay attention to the words, or they don't pay attention to how it makes your body feel. But it's because I used to tell my dad when I was younger, Dad, let's turn on the radio. And now I'm finding I'm just like him, because I don't listen to the radio too much. So I listen to either Christian stations and things of that nature. But I just find that, like you're saying, the mind, if you don't pay attention to it, if you don't pay attention to people around you, and if you don't pay attention to really what you're watching, reading, looking at, you will be consumed in becoming what that is.
Exactly.
And it really is. It's something that people are not paying attention to. They're not aware.
Whoever taught you how to use your mind?
Right.
What I teach should be taught in kindergarten. If we could teach our kindergarten students how to use their mind in a positive way, what a beautiful world this would be.
Correct. So what are some of the ups and downs in writing a book? Like what's some of the...
Well, there's some guilt around it, Renee. Sort of telling what went on behind closed doors. there's a part of the book called the hot chocolate story. I won't go into it,
Right.
but I knew God wanted me to write the book. So I asked my son if it was okay that I share parts of this book. And then I called his sister, my husband's sister, and asked her if it was okay. And they said, yes, it's okay. The goal is to help people. The goal is to help people, you know. So there's some guilt around it. But do you believe in signs?
Do I believe in signs?
You know, like signs from the universe or
Oh yeah.
God?
Oh yeah. I believe, yeah, totally.
4 days ago, I'm sitting on my patio on my swing. Oh, no, I was in the rocking chair. And this little tiny butterfly, it was brown with orange and yellow, landed on the right arm of my rocking chair. And it just sat there. And I tried to make it get on my hand, you know, but it didn't. And it flew to the left side. Well, I was drinking a glass of wine, so I had to keep going over the top of the butterfly to get to the wine. And it just sat there looking at me.
Right.
For about 30 to 40 minutes, this crazy butterfly's just sitting here. So went to bed that night and I woke up and all of a sudden it hit me. My son was killed and he came back as redbirds. 6 weeks after he died, 12 male cardinal redbirds were underneath the tree in my front yard. Have you ever seen 12 male cardinals at one time?
No.
And to me, that was just a sign from heaven that he was okay. So when we moved to our new location, I hadn't seen redbirds for a while. And there are redbirds all over the trees in the backyard. So I knew Wade was here. And I had teased on before he died. I said, you know, Ray came back as a redbird. When are you going to come back out? I like dragonflies. Is that you can come back as a dragonfly or you can come back as a butterfly? And I truly believe that that was done, saying it's okay. I know what you're getting ready to do. I'm sorry I hurt you, and it's all okay. I really believe that. And that gave me some peace, you know.
No, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. I know I've lost my mother and my father, my mother and my brother over the last few years, and I've had these little signs. I've had these little things, and whether it's just that's what we believe, right? And so any regrets, I guess, on
Well,
doing and what
I
you
was arguing with God yesterday. I said, look, and I have a great relationship with God. We have some lively conversations.
right.
I said, the contact management system is not sending out the emails. This is a new system. I know we're trying.
Right.
And I said, you told me to write the book, right? You better get to work and figure out what the heck's going on with this contact management system because they're not being delivered. So that was yesterday. And at 4 o'clock, we figured out what was wrong. So some went out today. So, no, it's been a lot of work. You know, sometimes I regret maybe I should have said no to God. You know, I'm in a brand new relationship with the love of my life, and he certainly didn't buy into I was getting ready to write a book. I mean, it's just like having a baby, you know. Oh, I got to do this now. Oh, and now the baby needs this now. And oh, we have to do that now. And oh, we have to do this now. And we have to market it. We have to do all these things. You know, it's a lot. It really is a lot. But I can tell you this. I was interviewed, our interview yesterday with the Women's Prosperity Network yesterday on Wow Wednesday. And it was 30-minute interview and 30-minute question and answers. And this lady went on my website and sent me a message, and her pain in a text was at least 5 screens long of everything that was wrong in her life. And
Wow.
she said, I was so thankful that I was on the call with you yesterday. I know God made me happen to be there. She says, how can I get your book? I don't know how to get it. I need it. And I told her that you can go to lindaallred.com and sign up for my free report, the One Thing report. Discover the one thing that's holding you back from true success. And it would trigger the email to get the bonuses that I'm going to give her. And I told her when she got the bonuses to send me an email, and I'll tell her what to listen to first. So, when I decided to write the book, God said, it's not about you. It's not about fame. It's not about making a lot of money. It's about helping people. So I already feel like if I could just help one person, I've done what he wanted me to do. And I already feel like I checked that box off yesterday. So
I find that when you you keep saying that, and I find that when you get yourself out of the way and you really understand what you're doing and how it can affect other people, it makes it easier to understand. And I think the support and listening, I listen to a lot of videos on a daily basis. I drive a lot and I listen to different podcasts, and I go to a lot of events. I'm like yourself. I'm a self-educated individual to where I'm constantly either investing into mentors, programs, or courses or whatever. And I just find that it helps you. And it sometimes just gives you the ability to move to the next step. And especially, do you find a lot of people are hurting in today's world? They're suffering from all different types of anxiety, stress, like you're saying, negative thoughts, and they just don't know who to talk to. And sometimes by listening to these stories like yours, it just really kind of gives you that extra little oomph to move to the next step. Is that pretty much what you're finding through your path in your career?
yeah, and I give people the metaphor. If you went to a nursery and bought a beautiful blooming plant and you brought it home and put it in the closet and shut the door,
Correct.
that is what negative thinking does to you. But if you brought that beautiful flower home, put it by a sunny window and watered it and fertilized it, it reaches its full potential. That's what positive thoughts do. And then I talk about this in the book. The decade of the century is neuroplasticity. They proved that our mind is a computer. So think about what a computer does. It does exactly what it's programmed to do.
Correct.
All right. Our stinking thinking is the software that is running your computer.
Correct.
So when you change it from stinking thinking to positive thinking, it does what it's told to do. So it's that simple. It's that simple. Just learn to talk yourself to good health. I flooded in Baton Rouge, flooded in 2016. I'm sure you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Almost drowned that night. And I moved to a condo on the fourth floor. We all still have, what do you call it? Stress syndrome, post-traumatic stress syndrome. But hang on, let me get some water.
So the water is coming into your house?
Came in 5 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, lost everything. Had to start all over. Yeah. And that's when I started using Zoom.
Right.
All the time. Yeah. But people just don't understand how simple it can be. They want to make it hard.
Right.
So
now I was talking to a young man yesterday around 21, and we were driving, and I was sharing with him some things that I do, and I stress upon individuals who work that just by showing up, having a good attitude, and just doing what you're supposed to do gives you an increase in pay wage. That's all I can see, is that when you show up and you have a good attitude and you just do the work you're supposed to do, you're going to get appreciation. Because people value, especially leaders, value that.
mm-hmm.
At the same time, I shared with them, how to start up a little side business today, so he can get that tax back. So use the corporate America, employee, self-employed, business owner, investor, rich dad, poor dad concept. And a lot of people are just lost, not just young individuals, but older, because they don't know this information.
Mm-hmm.
I shared it with him and said, don't wait to start your business or your idea, your dream. Then he started opening up to me and sharing that he's starting to do a little bit of TikTok and things of that nature. So it's kind of like helping people open up to feel okay with whatever they're doing and backing them up versus like you're saying, some people, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. What are you wasting your time doing that for? But they don't really understand how this world is happening today. Is things that we're doing is the news. We're creating a news channel,
Mm-hmm.
creating a self-positive channel where you're creating a book for people to follow that can create impact to generations in the future just by reading what you're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
Your impact on just sharing this information, you're opening up to things that might be secrets or past, but you're opening up so other people can say, I'm going through the same thing.
Right. Just like the lady yesterday. A couple of things about money I want to talk about. We're taught, especially women, that money's bad. We can't make a lot of money. Money's bad. Money's bad. But I'll argue the point that the more money that you can make, look at the charities that you can give to. Look how you can give back. So it's okay to make all the money that you want and more.
Correct.
Because you can give it back. You can give it back. And throughout my career as an entrepreneur, the multi-level marketing companies, you really can't move up unless you build a team.
Correct.
If I could have done it on my own, I would have been at the top in 6 months. Okay.
Right. Oh,
But
yeah.
I tried to build a team, and people are lazy.
Yeah.
They want the extra money, but
Correct.
they don't want to do the work. They just don't want to do the work. And so I just, I gave up on trying to build a team.
I was in that. I started. So I was in a health club business, and as I was younger, and my older brother was in a health club. So I basically I was training and teaching people since I was 8 years old. But I never thought about it. I knew about it, and I've always had that excitement of really impacting somebody's life and watching that change of their attitude, personality over a few months of how either they lost weight, gained weight, came, hey man, how you doing, man? I'm feeling good. And then I fell into the sales, and I got really good around 27 insurance sales. And I started helping others who wanted to do the same. And like you said, I tried to build a team, and it's just people are not willing to do and pay the price. They're not willing to put in the time to learn. They're not willing to put the time into making a phone call. They're not willing to pay all the things you have to do to succeed.
Yep.
Just like in weight loss is not easy if you don't do the basic little every steps every day. It's going to start happening over a period of time.
Well, you starve yourself to death and then you lose the weight. Oh, good. I lost 30 pounds. Then you go back to your bad habits. You got to do it every day, every day, every day. But talking about not doing what you're supposed to do. Have you heard of Jim Rohn?
Oh, yeah.
My mantra is I am willing to do today what most people want, because tomorrow I will have what most people want. So when I was in there at 9:30 at night developing a new workshop or whatever, and I would think, God darn, everybody else is watching TV, eating ice cream, and here I am, and I would scream, I am willing to do today what most people want, because tomorrow I will have what most people want, So anyway. But
that's awesome.
Let's talk about fear. You mentioned that in your newsletter today about mentorship. And you also talked about what did you call it? I call it mood management. In my book, I met two ladies that were my mentors. One of them is Sonia Miller, and the link to get her book is in my book. But I was Don had developed cancer then, had 3 years of cancer hell. And I was in her mentorship program. And I told her that I always saw all my bills paid by God, like stamped by God. But as soon as Don got sick, it's like the phone quit ringing. And I said, I may have to file bankruptcy, And she says, Linda, all those negative thoughts, the universe is going to collapse that down on top of you. You have to learn to be willing to let it go.
Right.
So we all had to write a willingness mantra, and I wrote one. And she changed it, put one sentence in it. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But even I still use it with all the stuff going on with the book, and this is not working and that's not working, and I have to do this, and am I doing it right? Is anybody even going to buy it? Why did you want me to write this book, God? You know, all that stuff, as positive as Linda Allred can be, you still get it. So the way I teach you, and it's in the book, just look up, nobody knows what you're doing, and you tell yourself, I see you fear, I see you anxiety, I see all that doubt up there, I see all you little guys. And you tell them, I honor you and I respect you. And you take a deep, deep breath and exhale slowly. And you tell yourself, I am willing to believe that the universe is going to send me everything that I need right here, right now, and more. I am open to receive from all channels, both expected and unexpected. All is well in my world because I know that I am held in the hands of God and I'm perfectly, utterly safe. And you just let it go and you just feel real, real good. And she said, you need to add in expected and unexpected places.
Right.
When I did that, I normally work mostly with women. More men call me and signed up for programs with me. One guy said, do you accept cash, and paid me in $100 bills for a VIP program. I made more money in a 3-week period that I had never, ever made in 9 years in a 3-week period. Wow. By putting in from both expected and unexpected places. You know, I didn't expect to bring in money from men, you know. Right. And that willingness mantra is in the book too. So you can let go of your fears and anxieties.
I'm looking forward to getting the book.
So you need to get it today.
Yeah, no, I have it up on here. I'm going to order it
today. Can I tell you the bonuses you're going to get?
No, let's talk about that because I'm seeing so many different things that I want to talk about. We have about 20 minutes.
You're going to have me on again. I love talking to you.
No, I'm going to have you on more often. And then we are going to have right now. I have a few events getting set up for 2025. So when I have these live events, then I just have a different speaker. So I'll definitely want you on there as one of the speakers. So tell me everything about the book, how people can get the book, and all the different bonuses that go with it.
I go to my website, lindaallred.com. And Linda is Linda, and Allred is like all blue, all green. It's ALLRED.com. And up at the top, there is a red bar that says, Get Linda's free report here. You're going to click that button and fill out a form, and that's going to trigger you getting your bonuses. Okay.
Okay.
You'll get an email from me. Have to do it today now. You're going to get an email from me of how to buy the book. I'll send you the Amazon link. Yeah. And the bonuses, other than the free report, it's valued at $47. The Wheel of Life bundle with 8 positive affirmations, the child's health and confidence, achieve success, self-confidence, improved memory, reduce pain, healthy living, all of that. And then on top of that, and that's a $71 value, on top of that, a $97 value, the Stress-Free Now combo pack, reduce anxiety, help you with reducing fear affirmation, healthy living, an ultimate relaxation self-hypnosis session, a bonus weight loss session called I Am Slim and Trim, and a 4-part video series of a weight loss seminar I did years ago. So it's a really, really good 3 super bonuses for buying the book today and helping me get to bestseller status today.
I don't see no doubt you're not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I love your website. You really do have really great information on there. So I just
there's information about the book there too. Yeah.
And I see all the different things that you've done. So yes, if people can go to your website, that's at lindaallred.com. That's LINDA.
And sign up for the free report.
Sign up for the free reports and
fill out the form. and you'll get an email from me how to get the book and to get the bonuses.
And I did posted your book on my Facebook page also. So if you go to my Facebook page or go to Linda's Facebook page, you'll see the book and Amazon link. Buy the book, read it. I'm excited about really everything to learn more, and it's just really exciting just to see your journey, Linda. I really do appreciate it. I know Lane has been a good friend of mine for many years. She's been talking highly about you over the last few months. And I'm just really.
Let me tell you about Lane. After 13 years as a caregiver for my husband, I was still trying to run my business. And she had an organization called Movers and Shakers.
Yeah.
And I found out about it. And she said, if you're serious about starting your business and helping people, call me. Well, I called her the next day and we met for coffee. And I told her what my plan was. And she says, well, when can you have this workshop to me that you're talking about? I said, it's been sitting in my inbox for 3 years. You know? Wow. So I sent it to her, and she really helped me get started again. So she's been a good friend all these years.
Now, Lane is really just she cares about people. She does so much. She gives more than she receives. And I'm working with her right now on some of her books, I think some ideas. And so we're going to try to start putting that together. I'm like yourself. I have different things in my work, Word docs and everything else. And it's just getting it on, I guess I might have to find me a good ghostwriter to help me kind of formulate it. So I'm working on a podcast and working on different businesses that I'm currently working on. It's just time, but this is really what I enjoy. And I enjoy really talking to other people like yourself, sharing good information that can potentially help others. And I feel like these little podcasts is really what I feel is changing the way that people are interacting. I think it's changing the way that people are learning. I think they're learning faster by hearing conversations like ours and just plugging into the things that you're providing. You know, if you go to your website, LindaAllred.com. I mean, it's just a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge, but the attention deficit of most people, they go to a website, they don't really pay attention to it and really go through it. And I think if you spend some time and go to Linda's website and pay attention to some of the things she's doing and get her free bonuses, I find that can be a life-changing opportunity.
Yeah. And coming up next, e-course I'm working on right now, and I'll have you on my email list. You'll be first to know. Okay. I'm working on 5 easy steps to train your inner critic to be your best friend. Because every morning now he says, great day, Linda. What do we want to do? Because I said, because we know we can do anything. You know, he's my best friend now. We're both happy. And it's wonderful to feel happy. It is just great. And that's what I want for everybody, lasting happiness.
No, congratulations.
It's in the book, and I will teach you how to do it. I'll be right there holding your hand.
Well, congratulations on everything, Linda. I'm glad I feel like I'm becoming best friends with you, and I'm looking forward to having you on the next events. And just let me let's stay in touch. Anything that's going on with you and anything that's going on with me, we'll kind of share more and keep on spreading the word.
I will. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks so much for having me. I really enjoy myself.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.